going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Viall Files Bachelor Recap Edition. Happy, Monday night, Tuesday morning. I don't know when you guys get to these. Joined by my producer, Rochelle. How you doing, Rochelle?
Good, how are you?
So effing good. Great episode today.
We love Lauren Lapkus
Lauren
so much.
Lapkus, a very talented actor, actress. I don't know what the right way to say it. Comedian, improviser,
podcast star,
and most importantly, above all things, Bachelor super fan. She has been watching for some time. Helps us break down this episode. She was so lovely. Not that as any surprise, but great questions, great insight. It was fun. I really enjoyed chatting with Lauren. I always sometimes forget, as much as people watch it, so it's like we were breaking it down and Lauren's just like, but what about this?
Yeah, it's the behind the scenes stuff that's fun.
So we have some fun with Lauren. Before we get to Lauren, I had a wild interaction on the old internet. I always, I don't necessarily, people say timing is everything, which I guess, I don't know, sometimes true. But I recently had a girl DM me.
Nothing new there, huh?
Well, but it was wild because this particular girl, I don't know how else to say this, but I was borderline obsessed with her 4 years ago.
Really?
I've never met
4
her.
years ago.
So when I first moved to LA, there was this exclusive dating app some people are on that it was new. So yeah, everyone was trying to get on, and I was like, fuck it, I'll just go on. I don't really know anyone. I'm thinking it was a way to meet people, and so it's the first day I'm on. I'm swiping. Everyone's just hot. It's just a bunch of hot people, and I came across this one particular person, and I'm matching all over the place because everyone's when everyone's new, everyone's just
right.
You're batting 1,000,
right? So
I matched. I saw this one, and just for whatever reason, I don't know why, I thought this one seems unique. This one, it was, I don't know. It was a bunch of hot people, but for whatever reason, I was tuned in. It said she liked Star Wars. I don't know why, and it didn't match. And then 20 minutes later, I got a notification. Boom! I'm in the car with Kyle. We all remember Kyle on New Year's Day, and I go, whoo! And Kyle goes, "You should write that. Just write, I just yelled with excitement." And I wrote, my first opening line was, I just yelled it with excitement. We go back and forth. We're chatting it up a little bit. And I was like, hey, let's get together or something. Mm-hmm. She's like, yeah, sure, whatever. I don't know, back and forth. And on a Sunday afternoon, I remember this. I was watching the Packers, and I get a message from her. She gave me her cell phone number. She's like, hey, do you want to grab a coffee this afternoon or a tea? I don't know, something like that. I was like, oh, really? Because at first I was trying to meet up and she was not available. And then I was like, I'm a big Packer fan. And I was just like, and I remember they weren't very good that year. And I think they were losing. I was like, okay, fine, maybe. And I just said to her, are you available later? Because I'm watching the Packer game. I must really want to meet up with you because the Packers are around. She goes, oh, I don't want you to miss the game. We can always go another time. And in the moment I thought to myself, this is a mistake. I should just meet this person. I really wanted to meet her. Fast forward a day, I followed up. I was like, hey, so let's grab that coffee this week. And she goes, I just Googled you. Mm-hmm. And she had a few questions about The Bachelor. Uh-huh. And my nightmare became a reality. And my insecurity of anyone I feel like I want to go out with, I feel like that person would probably judge the show that I was on. And I had this line to her that I used, and it was like, Google is like that friend you hung out with once, and they go around telling everyone they're your best friend, but in reality, they don't really know you that well. She laughed, she had a few questions, and then she went dark. Uh-huh. I didn't hear from her. Uh-huh. I playfully was like, I think once every month, I was like, so how about that drink? And it just kind of, this went on for 4 or 5 months, where every 6 weeks, I'd be like, I'll throw her a text, fuck it, I don't care. And then it just faded away. Mm-hmm. And then I remember when I was asked to be The Bachelor, and they were like, hey, Nick, so tell me, show me some girls that you're into. What? And I was like, I've been trying to get this girl to go out with me for mm-hmm. ever. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure one of the producers, she lives in LA, followed her on like even like DM'd her, seeing if well, maybe we'll just ask her to come, and nothing happened. Mm-hmm. I got a DM from this chick.
Nice.
Like 3 days ago. She said she was like, she's a big fan of Nikki Glazer. Nikki Glazer is helping me.
Wing woman.
Anyways, I'm a little perplexed because I just wrote back, I have so many questions. I don't even think she remembers 4 years ago.
Oh, it was just like a very cold DM. Like
no, she's like, she was clearly hitting on me. She was like, oh, you and Nikki slated or something. And then she kind of laughed. The fact, because, and then I had a DM. I wrote her like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It was after Vanessa and I broke. I remember after Vanessa and I broke up. I was just like, And I think she like showed up in my feed. I was like, I remember this chick. I'm like, fuck it. I'll just a year later or 2 years later, like, see if she wants to have a cup of coffee.
She's your white whale.
No. And then so anyways, she referred to like, she was sliding into my DM, having listened to my episode with Nikki. I'm pretty sure Nikki and I joked about sliding into DMs. Mm-hmm. So here she goes to slide into my DM. I slid into her DM two years ago. Not even remembering that we probably matched and were talking 2 years ago and she just ghosted me.
Huh.
Anyways.
You don't think she would remember that?
I don't know. I don't know if she'll remember.
She remembers.
But I went hard to the paint. So I don't know.
Today?
No, like 4 years ago.
Oh, right.
I was like, I remember really wanting to go out with this person.
So what's happening now?
I don't know. This was like a couple days ago. I think I owe it to myself to at least have a drink.
Did you respond to her DM?
Yeah, I said I have so many questions.
And then what'd she say?
I don't. And I asked her like what made her listen to the episode. I was kind of being coy. It's just like I was like, do you not remember? Like how like. Because I don't have her cell phone number anymore. This was years ago. But if we exchange numbers again, there's like a strong chance that she's going to like have old messages. And it's just probably going to be like 5 messages unresponded. She
might have blocked you.
No, but when you get... And again, it wasn't like... it was like over the course of like... I was fucking around over the course of a year. I'd be like, hey, remember the guy you just like... Because she just stopped responding like mid-sentence.
I think this would be funny if she was not a real person. She's just a figment of your imagination.
She
this
probably
unattainable woman that you made up in your mind.
I'm being catfished. Honestly, well, that's the thing. It's been 4 years and I look back, she's still very cute. Like obviously
maybe she's the one.
The excitement I had before, it's like, it's not the same. I have this like it's like, I remember how I felt. I remember being excited. And now I'm just like, okay, well, I guess now. You know what? It's funny because I think to myself, she's like, I think in her early 30s now. 4 years ago, she was probably like 28. And I was just like, you know what? At 28, I wasn't good enough. At 28, she was young, ambitious. She's hoping she's going to, meet the actor in town, the young director. Yeah. She Googles me, reality TV. Right. Now it's just like, now she's in her early 30s. Now it's like.
Essential oils.
You know what? Fuck it. He's got a podcast now. Yeah, the reality TV. But like,
you're in a whole other
I'm not
tier.
getting any younger. She's just like, I'm now acceptable for her to go.
Well, you better give us an update. I hope she's the one.
I don't know. I just think it's funny because I just remember being very, very into it 4 years ago, and then out of nowhere, I get this DM.
Wow.
Anyways, the journey continues for me.
This is the most you've talked about your love life, I think, in the history of the show.
Well, it's a safe story. All right. Well, Lauren Lapkus, imperfect foods. You know what? It's hard to feel left out sometimes. And same goes with your produce. Your produce feels left out because it's not shaped right? Yeah. That's an interesting take. I worked in a produce department in high school. Yeah, grocery store Nick over here. And we often would have to discard the not so appealing fruit. And I tell you what, I would sit in the back in the little room and I'd cut it open and I'd think to myself, this tastes just as good. This is a true story. Anyways, Imperfect Foods has created an entire business out of that very concept. Which is basically just like getting produce that has been discarded based on its physical and outward appearance, only to be just as delicious on the inside. And now you can get it for a fraction of the price. You guys, over $218 billion of food goes to waste in this country every year. And this company is changing that. They're doing good, and you can feel good
by ordering it.
So start saving time, saving money, and saving waste right now, because when you go to imperfectfoods.com/VIALL now through February 16th, you'll get $10 off your next 4 orders. That's a total of $40 off. Just go to imperfectfoods.com/VIALL to get $10 off your next 4 orders. imperfectfoods.com/VIALL and enter VIALL at checkout. Echelon Fit. Well, everyone loves to be physically fit. Everyone loves an exercising bike. Well, they should. If they don't, they should, because I love a good exercising bike, because I love alternative ways other than run. I'm used to running. I've run my whole life, and honestly, it's kind of hard on your body.
Yeah. And plus, we've all heard about Peloton, but the thing is, you don't have to pay a ton for Peloton because you have Echelon. It's a much more affordable.
That is absolutely right. Also, I don't feel like Echelon wants to make you feel like your boyfriend is keeping you prisoner and making you work out.
Very true.
But yeah, you'll love your Echelon. It's, again, a fraction of the cost that Peloton is. They have the same wonderful high intensity workouts at you, and a wonderful bike that you can use. What more can we say about Echelon other than get fit with Echelon? Go to echelonfit.com/VIALL to learn about their limited time offer, free Apple iPad, and complete details of this exclusive offer. Echelon, it's your time. That's ECHELON fit.com/VIALL. echelonfit.com/VIALL. Lauren, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Very excited to have you.
I'm very
I've been hoping to have you in to help us recap one of these episodes for some time.
I'm so excited. I started recapping them in my Instagram stories, and it became like my full-time job. So I'm really excited. I'm taking this week off just because I'm going to just talk it out here with you. And
Well, I'm sorry for interrupting the Instagram.
No, this is a blessing.
But we are glad to have you. It's. I mean, as you now realize, like, being invested in The Bachelor and recapping, it's a full-time.
It takes everything. It's all my free time.
All of a sudden, they're like, hey, another 5 hours this week.
Why was it so many hours?
I don't know.
The second they were like, and there'll be another one on Wednesday, I was like, no, I love this, but it means I have to like watch so many hours this week.
First, they were like, oh, we have 2 episodes this week. And I was like, ugh, okay. And then they'll send, we get sent the screeners, and there's no commercials. And so I'm like, oh, this must be all jammed up because it was longer. Like, no. Monday's 3 hours long.
Yes.
And then we have 2 more hours.
Why was that? I don't know.
I think it's just a lot of, I think it's all content driven.
I wasn't mad when I was watching it. It was just once I heard there were 2 more hours.
I mean, I complained, but I got through it.
Yeah. I have no social life, but yeah.
I always like to use this time up front to get your thoughts on the season.
Oh man,
how are you feeling about Peter's love journey, the women, and Peter?
Okay, I think Peter's fine. I think he's so sweet and wholesome.
Yes,
that part of what I wish for him is that he wasn't on the show, because I feel like he would just meet someone in his life and it would just happen naturally. He's like young and like it could just happen, right? Like, I don't know, the construct of the show can make it so difficult. So I worry a little bit about his the rush. Of course, it's what happens every season, but like him rushing into something that may not be the exact right thing. I'm not sure about any of these people for him.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I kind of agree with you. We have Peter on our show tomorrow.
I saw that.
He was wonderful. I think people really will enjoy listening to him, and he tells some great stories, and I think they'll start to understand kind of why he's doing what he's doing.
Okay.
But he is just a really sweet guy, and I agree with you. He's just so incredibly earnest, and so he's decided to just truly be all in. Like every bachelor or bachelorette, you have to buy in. You do. Like you have to be like, if I'm going to do this, this is the situation. But some are like, with me, I was like, all right, this is what it is. It's still insane. But like, I'm going to go for it. And he's full on drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. And I think his family's really invested. Like
full on.
That clip they keep showing of his mom, like, bring her home. I'm like, oh my, something is going down.
Everyone is like,
the parents that want this to happen. Yes. Oh my God.
So to that sense, it's like, I really hope this works out, because
me too.
We learn tomorrow that Peter has a soft heart.
I do not want him to get his heart broken. It looks like he's about to. The preview from next week, I was like, oh no.
I'm a little worried for Peter's heart. I'm afraid he's going to end up like me. I watch it and I'm like, I do see a lot. There's some differences of Peter and I.
Yeah.
But I watch and it's just like, man, that reminds me of 28-year-old me.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, poor kid.
It must be weird to watch it from that perspective, having gone through that and like.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I'm a little older than Peter, and so it's that just going through it and just more like I watch it as like a big brother being like, oh.
Oh yeah, you
poor
just have a
guy.
couple more
Just wanna
years.
give him a hug.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, that's what I think a lot of times watching the 22-year-old girls on the show, and I'm like, when I was 22, not to say that you can't be like totally together at 22, but I wasn't, and I would have made horrible choices. And the idea of going on to a show to get married at 22 would have been a big mistake for me. So I just feel nervous when I see some of these girls who are so young.
It just fully,
and they're just so. Of course, you fall in love with him. It's like it's built that way. He's cute. It's great. Like, of course.
Because I'm sure when you were 22, you weren't like, I'm so young. I'm too young to do anything. You were like, I'm fucking old, man.
Yeah.
Like, bring it on, life.
Yeah, I can go to bars.
Yeah. That's the problem with 22.
I know you think you're so mature and ready for everything.
Are you enjoying the women? I mean, there's been some criticism of the group of women this season from people. What are your thoughts?
I feel like there are some good eggs mixed in there, but there was a lot of drama this season. I feel like so many people wasted their time telling him the bullshit that had gone down behind the scenes. I'm like, you're going to be kicked off. The second you start telling him all this stuff that happened with another girl, like, you're out. It's over. You just seem annoying. You seem dramatic. It's not cool. You seem like you have problems. Like, you just have to go in there and just not talk about any of that shit. Like, just talk about your life, what you're interested in. I don't know if that's possible for people at that point because you're so stressed by the house. But
I think about that when I watch it, right? Because it's, even if you've seen a number of episodes.
I mean, oh my God.
If you went on 18 as a contestant, you would just be like, don't do this, Lauren.
Yeah.
Right?
You tell yourself. I mean, we kind of saw it happen with the Kelley, the woman that he had met before, or Kelsey, or which one is she?
Kelley. Yeah. She's, we'll get into Kelley.
Yeah, but that there was like the feeling that she was like, the strong survive. Like you come in with a mentality that you think will get you through the whole thing.
No, I love Kelley this episode.
Me too.
Love
I've
it.
loved her the whole time. I actually thought she was going to be one of the bottom two or top two. It's not bottom two.
Well, I guess it depends how you look at it.
Yeah, maybe if you're the last.
But yeah, no, you wonder. It's just like, but you really are in a bubble there.
Yeah.
I mean, even for me, it was my second time around. The only time I ever talked shit about someone was Sean on Caitlyn's season, and that was because Caitlyn, I mean, it was not just Caitlyn, but it was like there was this whole thing between Sean and I, and Caitlyn was just like, no, I want to know. And I'm like, fine, fuck it, I hate the guy. Fuck it. It was a little bit of that, but even then I still wish I didn't do it. I still regretted being like, just don't fucking do it.
But I think on some level, like, I get that because you're like, well, I want to share with this person that I'm dating that, like, this is my personality. This person's annoying to me. Like, you can understand that about me, and that might lead to something positive, but it doesn't usually.
So we start the episode. Where are we now? I really enjoy their opening scene. Very beautiful B-roll. Some really mountain landscapes. I gotta say, I am jealous of the South America tour.
Where did you go?
We went to Wisconsin, which was cool, which was their Cleveland, but that was more fortuitous because we were supposed to go to South Carolina, but a hurricane hit. But whatever, South Carolina, Wisconsin. I actually was glad that I got to take them to my hometown. That seemed like I thought, like, why don't they do more of that?
Yeah.
Then we went to New Orleans, which was cool. I hadn't been to New Orleans, and then we went to the Virgin Islands, which was cool.
Yeah.
But nothing against the Virgin Islands. Like, I've been to places like that before, but like Chile and like South America and Peru.
Yeah.
That's rare in Peru. That's like
Lima.
That's really cool. So I'm pretty envious.
Yeah, that was a good trip.
So they're there, and Peter walks in, setting the tone, wanting to let the women know that he's
in control now.
He's in control.
Oh,
yeah.
God. That glass hitting his head, I'm sure you've talked about it, but oh my God, that clip was just amazing. I'm like, how has that ever happened to anyone? I've never seen a move like that. Like, bonking two things at once.
Yeah,
Fine.
he hit his head
Kinda
and
fits
then
it.
hit his glass.
It was so horrible.
glass, and that cut his face.
But everyone's
open.
really turned on by the scar. Everyone's like, your bandage is gone. Like this episode, like everyone's
Yeah,
upset.
everyone's like, oh my God, you're like a bad boy.
kind of hot.
It's kind of hot. But you know what? Peter is he's a sweet boy.
He's a
and
sweetie
he needs
pie.
a little edge.
A scar is great for him.
Yeah.
mystery.
This is really good for his brand. So everyone, like, I gotta say, watching this opening scene, it really, for someone who's done the show a few times,
Yeah.
it just reminded me just how insane this show is.
What element? Like all these women, like, let's go see our boyfriend.
Well,
like, there's
no,
a lot
it was-
about it. That's
Well, because it was more the, you know, it's when you start talking about hometowns, and it's just like we're coming up, we're in the home stretch here, and then the women all talk about all the time they haven't had, and I'm just like, you girls don't fucking know this guy
Yes.
at all.
Well,
right?
that's why it kind of kills
And
me
that's
whenever
how it is.
but whenever he cancels a cocktail party or something, I'm like, stick around and talk to the people you already like. Why do you need to cancel it just because you know who you're kicking off? Like, I feel like you could use that time to still get to know people. No?
Not really.
Why not?
Why? Because everyone's wasted?
Everyone just wants to make out with you.
It's not necessary. Like, it's not really.
What?
It's a team decision.
Oh, I love behind the scenes stuff. That's juicy.
But in fairness, like, truthfully, like, the cocktail parties suck.
Okay.
Really?
Right?
I mean, I feel like I would hate it because you'd have to stand there in a gown and like be uncomfortable and
Because
seems
that's
bad.
Listen, the cocktail parties, if you haven't noticed by watching it season after season, that's where they get a lot of drama.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's
Because the women are kind of waiting
you
to talk to
always
them
go
still.
in, and it's always like set up as some girl and be
Yeah.
like, well, tonight, you know, it's hopefully tonight's drama free, you know, like they
And
all
they're always
and,
like, I'm going to tell him my story.
and it
tonight."
never is,
Yeah.
right? So he's not there making connections.
Okay,
right?
that's a great point.
And with the people he likes, he's getting like 3 minutes.
Okay, that's really
and so if they
important.
have enough stuff to work with, you don't necessarily need a cocktail party.
In my mind, I thought he would get to talk to someone for like 30 minutes. Like that it goes on for like so long that like you might actually get some in-depth conversation.
If you're talking for someone for 30 minutes, and that has happened, that you've seen parts of the season where the women will kind of give you a timestamp or like he's been there for an hour, you know,
Yeah.
and it's just like, because that will happen. But that's all drama driven.
Right.
That's like the Leia and VP like stuff. Like,
Yes.
but when like they're not going to let Peter. There's not enough time to let Peter just snuggle with Madison for an hour, you know, like, which
Yeah.
I'm sure he would.
Yeah, that's what I
but, like,
imagine happening.
But
if
like
he-
that, no one wants to watch that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people on the clock to pay, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no time for that.
Okay, that makes
and so that's what the one-on-one force. But I'm watching this thinking, this is insane. This show is insane. I
Yeah.
can't believe I did this. I can't like. But and this is the worst week. It is the worst.
This is the
week.
hardest
It's
one. I mean,
so
you're
hard.
really getting down to like who you want to meet, like their family, and you're going to cut people when they're really invested at this point.
For the women, it fucking sucks.
Why is
you
it
are
worse?
you're so over everyone. You're just fucking done with them. And then it's like you have this small group, and you're just like, why? Like everything about what Kelley. That's why I love Kelley so much this episode. She's just showing it. She's like, I don't fucking care.
It's like, I'm an attorney. Look at me.
like-
I was like, all right.
You're like locked in this small house. On Caitlin's season, we were in Ireland. You know, it's Europe, so it's small,
Yeah.
tight rooms to begin with. And then like there was, I swear they did it on purpose, but they probably didn't. But like the walls were like bright red, like the intensity of like, I'm just like losing my mind. You're
I'm
like,
sure it was on
you're in a
purpose.
cage and you're just fucking
Yeah.
over everyone.
And
don't wanna
you
deal
can't
with it.
read or do anything, right? Like,
I mean,
I feel like they were like, you can only
very.
have the Bible. I read something.
That's not true.
Oh shit, I've been
That's
saying
not-
that for years.
That's not true. But
You could have a book. You could have a magazine.
yeah, I mean, like, listen,
Okay.
I that might come from if someone's like, I insist on having the Bible, I'm religious. They'll be like, fine, fuck it. Like,
Yeah.
like all they really want you to do is to be involved, right? So, like, if you're someone who's checking out reading books, they might
Yeah.
not let that happen. But you just got to be involved. But you're just exhausted, right? You're over it. Like, even if you've made friends, like, because a lot of the times you'll have like two people who are like bros. Like
Yeah.
on my season, Ben and Sean were close at the time, and it's just like you're still like, fuck, dude, you know, we'll be friends later, but like I fucking hate you right now.
Of course.
So you're just kind of over it, right?
I don't know how any of them could like forge a real connection with a friend here because they're dating the same guy. Like that would just piss me off. Even if I'm like, oh, they're cool, I'm still like, well, you kissed him.
Yeah, you're super
Feels bad.
But I'm watching it and just being like, this is insane. How are they doing this? Yeah. And then what's weird about this season, it does, because of so much drama, it seems a little off where like you got Natasha there. She hasn't even had a date.
Ugh.
Dude. Natasha. Yeah, no, I felt really bad for her. Then she finally got the date and he was like, it's not going to happen. I was like, shit.
That was like, yeah.
And she nailed the date. I thought
she was great.
She did fine.
Do you feel like he gave her a one-on-one so that he was justified in letting her go in this moment?
Yeah. I mean, we talked to Peter about like, it seemed weird about like, it seemed like Sydney should have been there, and I only say that not because like Sydney was more deserving than Natasha. Natasha's great. We all love Natasha. She's bringing some sanity to this show.
She was the most logical person the entire season.
But it was like, oh god, and maybe that's why they kept her around. But like, our audience is gonna lose her mind if we don't drink. But like, there was no connection.
Yeah,
they didn't have a date. Sydney had a date, and then all of a sudden, Peter's like, peace. And then it was like, okay, I guess she's gone. Yeah. So like any other season, Sydney would have stayed and then left this week, but for some reason those two swapped.
Okay, I have a question about when you're eliminating people or you're giving the roses out, especially at the beginning first episodes. Do you have like a thing in your ear of like everyone's name? No. You have to remember everyone's name?
No, you take breaks.
Oh, good. That gives me the most anxiety. I'm like, how's he gonna remember all these people?
You go in, you say four or five names, and it works. It adds an element of effect because
then everyone's getting like, ugh.
They're like, what is it?
There was one.
You gotta wait even longer.
It's horrible.
Where he said the wrong name and he looked at the person and then she came up. Did you see that? Yes. And then he was like, oh, just kidding.
You know
that's who that is. No.
You know how sometimes like it happened. What was it last week? And was McKenna and Tammy, like the rose ceremony starts, he hands out roses, and then all of a sudden like, Peter, can I talk to you? And they'll go leave again. And that point, probably for like 30 minutes.
That's a long time.
So
and then they're all standing there?
You're standing there, but like the adrenaline of a rose ceremony, it's like starting to pee and then having to stop and hold it midstream.
It's impossible. Yeah.
That is horrible. Like, because like you have this built up adrenaline when a rose ceremony starts. It sucks. And then all of a sudden it's like time out. And some people have roses and you don't have a rose and you're like starting to do the math and now there's less roses than you pick. And then they're out there. What are they talking about? It's the worst.
It's awful. That's awful. I am glad they don't have to memorize everyone up at once. It feels impossible. There's like 25 people at first. Honestly, I've been wondering that for years.
There's no headset.
Yeah, okay.
No.
I guess that would cheapen it a bit.
And so, and then, Natasha reminds America she hasn't had a one-on-one. So immediately she doesn't get a one-on-one. It's
right.
That's just let's fuck with her a little bit more. Which is just fine.
I just think the people making this show must have the best time. It's evil masterminds.
Yeah, it's fun. Hydrate, spark. Get your water, people. It has been helping me. I gotta say, I'm feeling more hydrated. My pee is white now, thanks to Hydrate Spark.
TMI.
Well, listen, if you don't hydrate enough, sometimes you just need to know that you need to drink more water by using the restroom.
We have our bottles here. Nick has black one. What color does it glow?
Green.
Yeah. And I have the coral color. It's so cute and it feels really nice to touch. And it glows when you need to drink water.
Up to 75% of Americans are dehydrated.
Wow.
Up to 75%.
I probably still am. I'm working on it.
It's a lot. Well, Hydrate Spark is really helping you. You'd be surprised how much water you're not drinking when you start using Hydrate Spark, because it's you need to drink more water. And it's really helped me remember.
So here's how it works. You get the water bottle, you put the battery in, you sync it to the app on your phone, and then it keeps alerting you and keeping track of how much water you drink during the day.
Well, you really need to try the Hydrate Spark Smart Water Bottle for yourself. And you'll get 20% off your first order if you use my code VIALL at checkout. So go to hydratespark.com now. It's spelled with an I. So that's HIDRATE spark.com. Hydratespark.com. Discount code VIALL. So Madison gets another one-on-one, and Peter really likes her. She really likes him. She has a squeal that I find Whew.
You don't like it.
I mean, she's very sweet.
I have a question for you. Do you feel that you are still lifting women as much as anyone has on the bat? That every time they see him, they're getting lifted and their legs are wrapped around. I'm like, this has never happened in my life.
No,
I don't know if it's because I'm tall.
They do the work.
They're just leaping off.
They are. They do the work. I don't know what it is.
It's like part of the show. Like it's
Heather McDonald calls it. It's her, like, if we had her
toddler
the
jump.
toddler jump.
Oh, that's exactly it. I always do when I do it on my Instagram. It's like, wee! They just like
Actually,
leap up and
that's a great Madison impression. Every time she gets excited.
How old is Madison? What is she, like
23?
23, okay. Yeah, she's pretty young.
She seems incredibly sweet and incredibly young.
I thought it was going to be Madison and Kelley at the final two. I was banking on that weeks ago. 23. She's cute.
It's very cute.
Oh God. Okay. Well, do we want to get into everything that happened with her? So when she told him she was super religious. Like
religious.
She's been waiting though. I was wondering about this. Like I feel like this is something you bring up pretty early on, like religion. I don't know if you talk politics on this show ever, but like things like that are kind of important when you're going to marry somebody. Like if I was going to marry a guy and found out he was super religious and I'm like, oh, well, I'm not. Is that a problem for you? Then like that would be something I want to get to right away.
That would seem logical.
Yeah.
Couple things from a production side. You got to save that.
It's juicy stuff. Yeah. It's good.
And it's you just kind of wait. And so if they know someone's really into someone and they're like, I really want to tell them, we're like, well, wait.
So they're having a lot of behind the scenes meetings with these people.
Not necessarily, but it's just more, sometimes it comes up and sometimes not. But like, for example, not to jump around, but Kelsey brought up her family dynamic on her first one-on-one. And now they're talking about it again.
I liked that though, because I thought it was good that she brought it up early because then he's aware of this big thing that she might be worrying about and he was okay with it. And then once they get to their date on this episode and like got into it a little more, you could see that like he was kind of ready for it, but then he was really understanding and it was kind of more natural.
I like that. To your point, you're right. I would have liked to have seen Madison bring it up on the first date, kind of plant that seed.
Yeah.
Because like Peter's reaction to it, I really, I empathize with Peter. Because, and I know I've been saying I think he picks Hannah Ann. I'm really on the fence after this date with Madison.
Why are you on the fence?
There's clearly a strong connection there.
He told her he loved her. By the way, I was not okay with that. When he said he's falling for her, he's like, I'm really falling in love with you. No.
What do you mean?
It's too soon. You can't say that.
Why not?
If you don't pick her, then you're a complete asshole.
He's falling in love. That doesn't.
If you are sitting around with nothing to do all day and a guy tells you they're falling in love with you, that's what you're gonna like make that more of a thing.
When I was the Bachelor, I would joke with producers just how it didn't mean anything.
To say falling in love,
I'm beginning the process.
I'm just beginning the process of having feelings.
Yeah.
I'm falling in love with you. I was like, I'll tell anyone I'm falling in love with you because it means nothing.
To me, it's basically saying I'm in love with you, but it's like you're being a little bit hesitant. Like you're just afraid to be vulnerable. Like I that's how a lot of women might interpret.
That's how I interpret.
Yeah.
What it actually means though is I'm not in love with you yet.
Oh God! Well, then don't say anything. This is my whole point. I felt like it was too much for her. She's now that I know she's like she loves the Lord. She's very serious with this. Him saying he's falling in love with her. We now saw from a preview. There's another thing about her that is crucial. That she's saving herself for marriage. I'm like, that she's gonna hold on to that. I'm falling in love with you. That's serious.
They've definitely teased what's gonna be a storyline going forward is sex. Right, and they teased it in the beginning of the episode.
Opposite of last season, he was so sexual last season, so it's kind of fun.
Oh, I think he still is, but they show a preview of him. They've shown it a few times. I think sex is an important part of a relationship.
I agree.
So this Madison dynamic of being like, "Don't fuck anyone, Peter."
And didn't she see he fucked Hannah 4 times, and his parents were like, like it was so crazy.
Yeah, that's a sex positive.
They were all for it.
He's given interviews because he lives with his parents. He's just like, "Yeah, I'll bang a chick in my room, and we'll come down and make some breakfast."
Wait, he lives with them?
He doesn't say that.
He lives with his parents.
I didn't put that together.
But they all seem to. Yeah, I don't. He lives at home, and he doesn't say he never said he's banging some chick, but he implies that no one's pretending there isn't some sex going on.
It's good.
Sex positive.
I think it's nice, and I think when you're getting married to someone after barely knowing them, it's an important part of it. If you don't explore any element of that, I think that would be a mistake.
That's a scary proposition. But so Madison's very religious. We know this because she refers to God as the Lord, and when someone says the Lord, you know they're not fucking around.
It's for real. It's totally his face fell in such a way that I was like, oh, he's gonna let her go right now.
No,
he got so serious. I was like, oh, what's he gonna say? And then he was like really choosing his words, and I thought he was gonna say like, I don't believe in that. Like I was like, I was on the edge of my
really
seat.
I had a very different interpretation of that. I really empathize because I grew up very religious, and I'm still religious, but have a broader point of view. And a lot of my growing up, I grew up very Catholic. I mean, I was going to church every Sunday. I was serving communion all the way into my early 30s. Like I was pretty hardcore. I mean, I wouldn't save myself for marriage, but hey, I tried my best.
Sure.
But anyways, again, like my parents' religion was a big part of their marriage. I looked up to that. I liked that bond my parents had, and I don't know. Peter hasn't talked about religion a lot, but he has talked about his bond that his parents have.
True.
And I just know that if I would have gone on a date with a girl at that age, Peter's age, and a girl in Madison talked to me that way, even if I didn't necessarily know what her like belief system was, I would have been very attracted to that. I would have been very attracted to this like idea that she wants this like tight family upbringing, and that she wants me to be this person, because like Peter really, he wants to be his dad. Like
all I want for him is to have like a family and be a pilot. Like I want it all for him. I that makes a lot of sense, and that she's like a very secure choice then. Like she's got strong faith and she will stay true to him.
She's painting this picture of an idea that is very attractive.
Wow.
And I think
that's so interesting. I totally just took it the opposite way. I was like, he was like, oh, fuck. I swear, like went into slow-mo.
He goes, and that's where I was just like, oh fuck, maybe he might pick Madison.
This is the face.
Like, he goes,
look at that face. It turned into a soap opera. I was like, what is happening?
He goes, I want to be that for your kids. It wasn't like it was like, did he just say he's gonna pick you?
Well, saying I'm falling in love with you after that was like, this is happening. It's happening. She was afraid it was going to go the opposite way, and then he said, I'm falling in love with you. Again, she's holding on to this, like, if she doesn't get picked at the end, but see, here's the problem with
she'll be fine.
Here's the problem with not sharing the religious thing, because then she's not lording it over. I didn't mean to do that, but she's like holding it over him, like when he's about to like have sex with someone else. It looked like in the trailer, she's like, if you have sex with someone else,
it's
I
like
will
Luke
be.
P did, isn't it the same?
Yes,
Luke P did?
it's so unfair. It's like, first of all, you know what the show is, you know what the final rounds are. Like that's what is happening.
You know, Peter fucks.
He's already done it, so it's already too late. Like, you know what I mean? You missed it when he was on last season. Like he's already been having sex.
No, it's tough. And nothing against Madison. Like she's just trying to speak her truth, and she's just trying to.
It would hurt.
Yeah, but it is tough. Yeah. And I also like I feel bad for Peter because like religion's a tough thing, as we know, and it's like, you know, here is 23-year-old Madison, a few years removed from being a teenager, and I don't even, for all I know, she lives at home. She lives in this tight-knit community.
She wants a guy like her dad.
Yeah, but like that's everyone.
She said that.
I know.
That's not weird. That's
but when I saw that, I was
people.
like, you're not supposed to know that. It's supposed to just happen.
Right.
You're not supposed to consciously be like my dad. Like you just pick that, and then you're like, oh shit.
But don't you think like a lot of young women say that in like a religious community to
probably
look, I don't.
It's very like wholesome to say like I want someone like my dad. Yeah.
I get what she was saying, but I'm saying she just, you know, like I'm just picturing like let's say Peter and Madison end up together and they move to LA.
Mm-hmm.
Like Madison, I'm not saying she's not going to be religious, but her perspective on life is going to be different in 7 years.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah, just age and time and
exposure,
and living in a city and
living, you know, and so
you're right.
It is a crazy proposition to think. They're going. It's.
He knows. He knows he's getting her. Like, well, she's 23. Yeah, we'll figure this out. Yeah. If I pick her, we'll make.
That's the vibe I got. Like, we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know. She's not messing around.
She does
Can
get
I
super
ask
intense.
a question? Like, why did we hate Luke P for basically saying the same thing last season, but like we don't really?
Well, I don't know that I don't hate that she's going to do that.
Oh, okay.
But I think with Luke P, there's something about a man doing it to a woman that just feels way worse. Like it just is that double standard.
There is that kind of slut shaming mentality. Also.
He was
other than this,
He was a psycho.
Other than this, Madison's been nothing but sweet and delightful.
Right.
And Luke was a nightmare.
He was fighting with everyone. It was like, now he's going to say this. It was just too much.
Gaslighting of the whole season.
Yeah.
He was being egotistical. He was showing all these warts.
Yeah.
I mean, on his package, I said, this is a terrible human being.
The
And we're
shower
going to hate him.
Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah, the guy met the Lord in the shower. Please.
I
yes.
have checked out his Instagram, and he's got a whole business going now, which
Is it a pyramid scheme?
probably it's a workout pyramid scheme.
Yeah. So that I mean, I've done like again when I relate to a lot of the things Madison said, and a lot, like, you know, and you just grow up.
And he also said he's like, I'm not as connected to my faith as I would like to be. Like he was like, that sounds appealing, basically.
I felt bad because here's where. I didn't like that Peter felt like he had to apologize to Madison.
Too.
I agree.
And he was just like, I feel ashamed or I feel bad. And it's just like, hey man, like you don't have to apologize for that. And like
everyone's life is totally different. Like we don't know what he's experienced, and so his views change, or he gets further away from it from other reasons.
And Matt, like again, I had a very strong faith-based upbringing that was all predicated on what my parents taught me, and I'm thankful for that. I had a great childhood, and I have a very healthy connection with religion and God and my parents. Like, but this weird like that. Peter had to feel shame about it was
I don't like
felt
that.
I felt like, and again, here's this guy who just, that's where I really empathize with Peter, because he just wants this to work, and I think he's trying so hard to make the right decisions.
I know.
And for all the people who are mad at him right now, like for like being too agreeable, like he just wants this to work.
No, he does. But there are some decisions he made in this episode that I was mad about. Victoria, I was like, what are you? They have the worst dynamic together. They never have fun.
I agree.
And then he was like,
That was a little.
I keep you. I was like, what is happening?
That was weird.
It was weird.
But I also feel like there's probably just might have been some editing.
Okay.
And don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
That was weird. But like,
partial to her.
he's partial to her. He thinks she's hot.
Yeah.
Peter. Like, Victoria's just every girl I've ever dated in when I was 20. What I liked about that, it was a relatable 20-year-old relationship.
That like they're fighting all the time.
They're fighting all the time. They think each other are hot.
And that's what's the main thing keeping them like
there's
together.
There's a definite strong connection.
And sometimes you mistake that fighting for romance.
Yeah.
You're like, wow,
we have
really
such
passion.
chemistry. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually I'm glad they show that, because I thought that was one of the more interesting parts of the episode, because it was just a kind of the why are we fighting fight?
Yeah.
But they both were trying not to lose their mind.
Yeah, but then I thought, okay, so maybe he just really wanted to get Kelley out of the picture, and so he picked Victoria over her just because it was like.
I mean, who got what rose when is not really.
Oh, okay.
That's
another important behind the scenes.
That's just like whatever, the timing, the timing of things.
I love knowing that, because that kind of fucks me up though as a viewer.
Yeah,
now I'm like, well, what's true? I believe that it all happened, but knowing it could be out of order.
No, that's not. I mean, she definitely got the rose before the other women.
Okay, right. Because she
left. But the decision to give her the rose before the other women, it's like whatever.
Okay,
that's all. Like, I mean, clearly it surprised the other women.
Yeah, right? It was a weird final two in the group.
It surprised us. Mm-hmm. That's good TV. To be surprised.
I loved it.
We don't want to watch things that kind of make sense all the time.
No.
But yeah, I thought that was an interesting element to the show, because I like that Peter, they both you felt like if they weren't on camera, it would get really hot, like not sexual. I mean, like heated.
Yeah.
Like it would explode.
Totally.
And because
I do feel like she gets embarrassed after these interactions. Like she's like, I just was thinking about our conversation. I'm so humiliated. Like, but if there was no camera, it could go.
So let me ask you this. Like, I know everyone's watching it, and like, yes, when Victoria F does this, it's like, Jesus, come on, get it together. You know, like Kelley's out there like a hot mess, and it's like, okay, that's fair. But do you at least appreciate like this self-awareness that she had, self-awareness where she's like, I annoy myself. Like, I just can't. I mean, again, this is a messed up atmosphere.
Yeah.
She's both perfect for it as a viewer and terrible. Like, she is not meant for this world.
No, I do like that she said she was annoyed by herself. I totally get that. I feel like the whole season, though, I've been wary of her, and I felt like when she's like, oh, I'm so shy, I can't do this modeling thing, and then she like comes out in laundry and like makes out with him. I was like, if you were really shy, you would not be able to do that.
I said that too, but like later throughout the season, I was like, I don't know, maybe she's really insecure.
Yeah.
That's something going on.
She can just turn it on for the moment and get through it, maybe.
Do anyone have a theory of what happens at hometowns with her?
Something crazy. He like leaves her, right? Like
I don't know.
I don't know, but I don't
have a theory.
Put a lot of stock. I don't put a lot of stock in the
trailers.
I know.
Very, very good.
Well, because they showed Hannah Ann sobbing last week, and then this week it was because she got a rose. That's why she was sobbing. So it's like,
so yes, like I don't. But that being said, they make it seem like she goes, well, how can I introduce you to my parents now? And I'm like, wow,
something.
I think someone confronts her or something on camera about something she's done. That's my theory.
Okay,
and they have a big fight or something, and then it's like, well, we're supposed to just pretend we're happy and go to my parents' house.
Well, that's
now.
Entirely possible. That's happened before in other seasons and variations of like the boyfriend comes back.
Right.
Like with JoJo on Ben's season.
Yeah.
Like,
and Becca too.
Yeah. So hometown, like you are definitely it's susceptible to like your hometown.
Yeah, it's crazy. Do they often have fake homes on the hometown?
I wonder that too.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Ideally, no, but like not everyone's house is conducive
to a big crew coming in and stuff.
To a big crew. So they will, I think ideally they do, but it's not always the case.
Yeah, there have been some where I'm like, that was all from Pier 1.
Yeah.
Like
I saw that in a commercial.
Yeah, that entire set.
Yeah.
What do we think of Kelsey?
Kelsey, okay. Well, I've been really anti-Kelsey for a while. This episode was the first time I started to think maybe she could be good for him. I just didn't feel trust with her as the champagne situation was so insane. And like,
what do you mean by trust?
I felt like she was kind of deceptive or possibly like secretly evil. Like I think like she just had this vibe in her, the way all the girls wanted to be against her. There's something that happens with people like that where it feels like there's some truth to it. Like, why does everyone have a problem with her? Why is this like that? I do think she's calmed it down. And maybe the more I've gotten to see from her and the more she's kind of talked about her emotions, the more I'm like, okay, maybe she just is like easy to cry, but it doesn't mean that she's nuts. She just looks that way when she's crying at the situations that are happening on the show.
Yeah, I feel like this season, more than any other season, has proven that when everyone doesn't like someone in the house, that only means that everyone doesn't like someone in the house. It does not a reflection of
of who that person
is or the
It was looking bad for her for a while though, and they really made her out to be kind of nutty. But this date where she's talking about her family, I felt she seemed really real, and I liked how he responded. I thought that was good.
I'm partial to Kelsey.
You like her.
As a character, and I think I'd be friends with her.
Yeah.
I think she is a little nutty.
Yeah.
And I think she emotes, and I think especially when she drinks, I think
I often am not thinking about the fact that they're pretty drunk when those things are
and everyone, like I have friends who, like, after 3 drinks, they're not my favorite people.
Yeah, for sure.
And so everyone responds to alcohol differently, and I think she responds in an emotional way.
It seemed like on this date she hadn't been drinking at all.
Yeah.
They were rolling in a field, and then they went to dinner. Okay, question for you about dinner. I know they don't eat in front of each other, right? Like, but then what do they eat in like a room beforehand? Like, what?
You come in full.
You come in full?
So wait, there's like they're rolling in the field, then they separate to go get ready for the date.
You've
and
noticed
get like a salad
they're wearing different clothes,
right? So there's like a period where they're put in different rooms and they get fed.
Yeah.
Why do they never want them to eat in front of each other? And I think there was one episode in a previous season where someone ate it and they were like, yeah.
Have you ever listened to a podcast while people are eating?
Okay, so it's just for our sake. Yeah,
but remember that meat?
misophonia.
So,
remember when he was eating all that meat in front of Victoria? He was going to town.
Yeah, in the outtakes at the end of the episode, that was meant to be like when Madison, the Lord,
yeah.
The Lord is really I really love the Lord. Like
You're right. The fork's hitting this thing. Yeah, that would be annoying.
That being said, it is real food. And we saw Ari eat it.
Yes, that's what yeah, that's so weird.
Oh, also they couldn't do the cuts because continuity. You could tell if they did.
Right, then the food's gone back. Yeah.
So that is why. But I think Kelsey, assuming she hasn't had any champagne, I actually think she's probably one of the more down to earth women in the show. Like,
yes.
She seems like a loyal person. I think she has a good heart. I think she just doesn't know how to express her emotions.
And maybe living with a group full of women who are going to be against you is not her perfect environment. But like he has said their relationship is very deep. And someone else said that about her. Like talking to Victoria, I think somebody was saying.
A few times I've talked to Peter, and you'll hear it tomorrow. Like he's very quick to like stick up for Kelsey.
It must be
he has
really
a strong opinion of Kelsey.
Isn't it hard for him to do an interview before it comes out? Like that would be so hard to not give away things.
He's well trained.
God, I would have a hard time with that.
He had like 3 people sitting here watching him.
Yeah,
making
don't
sure.
even roll your eyes about that person.
No, you have fun with it as the Bachelor of like
keeping the secret.
Yeah, keeping the secret.
Yeah.
And Peter, clearly, no one knows. It's been fun for everyone to like. It's been fun for me because I always get spoiled. And no one knows. So like
you don't know for real?
I really don't know. So I think it's Hannah Ann or Madison, right?
Yeah.
But like I'm here, I'm going back and forth, and it's kind of fun to really not know.
Yeah, it is fun. I love the reveal at the end.
And Peter is really having fun knowing that people don't know, and he's very protective of that. So he's really enjoying that.
That's cool.
Kelsey kind of reminds me of Blake a little bit.
Huh?
Because Blake had all that family stuff at home. He was very, very open about it, but he was also a little, emotionally unhinged, but sweet.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think we'll learn a lot from meeting her family. I think that's going to clear up some of...
I don't think she wins, and I don't think she'll be the next Bachelorette. I think she will be an absolute all-star in Paradise.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, who would be the next Bachelorette? I mean, I think Hannah Ann, if she doesn't win, would be like who they're going to pick for that. But she's so young. I don't know. I really want this show to be like people in their 30s.
I think it's going to be Hannah Brown again.
What? That would be crazy. Again?
Yeah.
I watched her on Dancing with the Stars. I actually started to like her a lot more from that. She was so great. But I feel like if they have her again, that's just... Go. You have to go out into the world at some point and just meet people the regular way, right?
I
go
agree.
on Paradise or something. I'd see her. I would like to see her on Paradise. That would be really interesting.
There's a lot of reasons why I can see them. Like people would watch, and so from that,
of course,
aspect,
I'm signed up for every episode from now until I die.
But it would be a challenge. What
about a Hannah and Demi duo season?
Oh,
I'm for Demi.
Kind of pick who you want to.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of exciting.
I'm for Demi. Hannah Ann. I think Hannah Ann has more. I think there's more to Hannah Ann than like Scally got beat.
Right now she's boring as.
I know they don't really give her much time.
I think she killed this episode in a sense. Like she seems like kind of a quite assassin. What do we know about Peter? Loves a crier. Loves to hear that you love him. Yeah. So what does Hannah Ann do on this date?
Yeah.
Sits down, immediately starts crying.
Yeah.
She can't take it anymore. All right, here are my tears. All right, step 2, bust out a list of things. I'm going to tell you I love you.
Oh my God, the list. It looked like a 12-year-old.
I know, it was so, oh God. But I also looked at her face and I was like, her face is so youthful. I'm like, she looks like a little baby. She's so cute. It's just, but she's too young. I don't want him to pick someone so young. I feel
she's the same age as Madison.
Whoa.
She's 23.
Madison seems older.
Does she? I feel like Madison, in different ways, comes across just as youthful.
Maybe. I feel like Madison, maybe she just looks a little bit older and it kind of like sells it.
They're the same age.
That's pretty crazy.
But
okay, so then he's
and she's just like going through the Peter playbook of tears, words. You know, she's killing it.
Yeah.
I think she's smarter than people give her credit for. I think she is getting judged by her like youthful appearance.
Yeah.
I'm not saying she's gonna like, you know, solve the world's hardest math problem, but I just think she's not like, even there was a part early in the episode where like the girls are having their girl chats and Madison got the date card and they're going fishing and and Hannah Ann had like catching feelings. Like she has a little bit of like a little bit of wit and a little bit of like sassiness that she has decided, and we saw early on and we saw early in the season, and she has decided to be like, all right, Hannah Ann, just be.
It's the Hannah G playbook.
Yeah. Be the, like, go to your Southern roots of like demure, sweet, thankful, grateful, humble. But I bet if you get Hannah Ann like in a comfortable surrounding where she can be herself and maybe like a cocktail or two, I bet she's a lot more interesting than you might think.
Okay. I mean, I have to say I liked how she handled Kelsey's like meltdown with the champagne, and she's like, I hear you and I'm sorry that upset you. I was like, people thought that was robotic, but I actually thought it was great. I was like, she just there's nothing you can respond to.
I read,
you know what I mean? Like, you can't go crazy.
I read some sass, and then when her and Victoria F were having their modeling thing, and she kind of like, it's like, bitch, get out of the way.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I could be way off, but I feel like there's
you're probably right.
They're not as so like now Kelley. I think Kelley was the all-star of the episode.
Do you think Kelley and Peter hooked up at the hotel when they first met?
Yeah.
That was my feeling, was like, that's the connection they had, that they can't believe she ended up here. I'm like, they boned.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I thought the whole time I was kind of hoping for her to be the winner, because I liked that they had met outside of the show. I thought there was something like kind of grounding about that. Yeah. That it's like, maybe they had some conversations that were just, I mean, no cameras. It just feels like they know each other in a different way. But then I kind of understood when he was saying, when he let her go, and he was like, I think I was holding on to the idea that we had met before. And that was enough to keep it afloat, even though maybe there weren't the vibes.
I find this dynamic interesting because, you know what? Maybe in the real world they could have a nice relationship, but because Peter is so bought into this environment, and Kelley has a healthy dose of realism.
Yeah, she's like, this is really fun. He's like, stop saying.
He's offended. He's just like, fun?
This should be hard.
This should not be fun. There is a time and a place for fun, and now is not the time.
Dating me is not the place.
He looks pissed.
He's pissed. She said fun again. He's like, dude, stop with the fun.
I mean,
I thought, but she's like lighthearted. She's like, she knows what the show is. She's like, we met outside of this. I think she felt pretty solid that she'd get really far because of that. She's like, I'm good. This is a good time.
Kelley's here just to kind of like subtly point out all the ridiculousness of the show. Where like, you know, Victoria F is just, well, you know, I'm just don't know if she's going to come back. And Kelley just cuts her off. No, she's coming back. Like, have you not seen this, please? You know, and then they're on the group date and Kelley's like, oh, you really made us walk far. And that's just Kelley being like, this is stupid.
Calling out the weird things. Yeah.
Because like, that's what they do. They're like, all right, there's Peter. You see him? Like, he's a tiny guy in the distance. All right, just start walking. And then they tell Peter, like, just wait.
So awkward.
And it's like, and she points it out.
Yeah.
And credit to the show for airing that little bit of, now they air it because it's like, you see Kelley. It's what's fascinating about this is on my date with Andy, I was on that date. And at that point, I was on a date with Chris Soules, a guy named Brian, and Dylan. And my point of view on that date was, she has no actual connection with any of these guys. This is stupid. Why am I here? Like, can we just get on with it?
Yeah.
And Kelley has the exact, but like we're watching it and thinking like, again, it's a different season because I guarantee you America's on Kelley's side.
Yeah. She seems really real. She's like,
she seems real.
Yeah.
But it seemed like a villain edit a little bit.
They were trying to do that a little bit.
Well, that's what I'm saying is another season, we're recorded this before it airs, so we don't know what Twitter's going to say. But I would be shocked. I'm guessing America is going to like it. There might be some people that say Kelley's ungrateful to be there, but that was my point of bringing it up. And she got the same edit I got, and I was crucified for it. And given how this season has been, and all the women being so young, and everyone kind of being irritated by the ridiculousness, everyone's going to be like, you're so right. Like she lies down. Like,
I know. I love
let
her
me know
laying
when you
down.
come back.
Like, I'll chill here. I'm good.
Yeah.
And even when she was like, the weak get cut. I'm just gonna lay here. She looked like a big lion, being like, the weak get. It's like Lion King moment.
Just like, I'm not gonna stress out about things I can't control. Yeah. So like, I know you're gonna come back. I'm gonna get some time. Just let me know when. Meanwhile, Victoria F is just like, I can't deal with this.
And she's like, you're always in a mood when I see you. It's like, whoa. But he's in a mood.
They sat down and Peter was just like,
he's like scowling at her.
What's up? Yeah. You know? Like, I mean, I kind of gave Victoria credit for, like, again, you're in a situation, Peter has all the power.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
And so the guy with all the power comes out and says, why are you being this way?
Yeah.
Right? And most of the time it's just like, I'm sorry. And like she pushed back, and that made it fun to watch. Like, probably not the move.
Well, she got the rose.
I mean, I guess it was the move, but
she's not going to win. Okay, that's the fact. I was glad they took away that Cosmo cover. I felt weird about that. Yeah. I thought it was weird to give a cover to someone who wasn't the winner anyway. It just seemed like a weird prize midway through a season to be on the cover of Cosmo.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know why things work the way they do, but I was like, that's great. Now he's gonna be posing with this person he didn't pick,
and then when the person he picks is like,
cool cover. Let's throw that out.
I mean, there is that, but that's just the nature of the beast. They do what they can to help you make the relationship work, but it's not the number one priority. Unfortunately.
True.
Unfortunately. But I guess assuming Victoria does not win, that would have been a harder pill to swallow.
Yeah.
Look at this magazine where you look hot with me.
Yeah,
forever
sucks.
on Cosmo. I would have liked to have done that. Like, imagine if it is Hannah Ann. That's like her dream.
Yeah. Right, to be on the cover of Cosmo. She's a model, yeah. Amazing.
Well, the winner will be on the cover of People, though.
You'll get a cover somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, but in that world, you tend to obsess over what you don't get and dismiss what you do get. It's very easy.
Yeah.
You get 1,000 comments of, oh, you're the best. And you get one that says, fuck you. And that's the only thing you really care about.
I relate. Yeah, completely. As an actor, it's like, you get one mean thing. You're like, yep, that's the true one. The rest of it's fake. No one likes me. It just feels that way.
It does. I mean, it is hard. And yes, it's very hard being the winner. It's like, it's the hardest thing.
Oof. Oh my God.
What else?
What happened next? So he dumps Victoria. I mean, he keeps Victoria, dumps Kelley, keeps Hannah Ann.
Keeps Hannah Ann, comes back. Hannah Ann and Kelley. I mean, Kelley is just so over it.
She doesn't care, but I do feel like she was holding it together so well, but I feel like that's like her attorney energy being like, don't show anything. And then she gets in the car and she had a little bit of a cry, but it was still pretty reserved.
I'm really looking forward to Tell All. Because
I always forget about the tell-all, and it always pisses me off because it comes right.
I know. I never want that.
I'm like, I want the answer of what happens.
Don't give me this.
Are you not looking forward to Tell-all this year?
I always watch it, but I'm like, I always think it's going to be the finale, and then the tell-all comes on, and I'm like, oh, I forgot.
Well, I mean, Kelley spent most of this episode just talking shit about all the other women.
Yeah.
And for the first time, I think in a while, America is going to be agreeing with Kelley.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. So you're going to go in and Tell-all. All the women are going to be like, you righteous bitch.
Yeah.
And America's going to be like, yeah, but we kind of agree.
Yeah.
And I'm really curious how that's going to go down. I'm really curious if Kelley is going to be like, you know what? Honestly, I was mad and I'm sorry. You girls are sweet and I don't really want any more trouble. Or is she going to double down?
Yeah. That'll be fun.
They're going to make a cardboard cutout of McKenna's frown face, I'm sure, for someone in the audience.
That was so ridiculous. It was a drawing of a frown. Like she's like... I couldn't even do it.
Did you enjoy her audition?
What? What do you think it was an audition for, to be the Bachelorette or to be on Paradise?
Either one. I mean, it was just something she had lined up.
Girl, I found my voice and you can't stop me, girl. It was like, what is this monologue?
Girl is meow, 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 meow. It was.
She has found herself and she is who she is. I was like, stop. Just walk away.
It was a hard watch.
Tammy was just like, okay.
Were you Team McKenna or Team Tammy?
Tammy, all the way. Tammy was great. She was the voice of reason for a while, and then she got a little bit, got a high horse and was like throwing it down like sometime a little too much.
She kind of started to lose it.
But I enjoyed it.
But you are nothing. I am everything.
Yeah.
That was a weird exchange. Just like anything you say, I'm just going to say it back and just say that I'm better than you.
Yeah. It worked.
So what do we got? Any final thoughts about the remainder season? I know we've tapped into a little bit, but so who do you think it's? You think it's Madison?
I think it will be Madison. I feel like, but I don't know. The drama that they showed in that trailer makes me think that something might go down and that she won't be in the final two. But I think it'll be Madison and Hannah Ann. I feel good about that. I feel like Kelsey should be in the final two, but I actually don't think he should pick her. Actually, I think she could get that far, but I don't want him to pick her.
You don't want him to pick Kelsey?
No.
Why?
I don't feel like it would actually work out. Like I have the feeling that it like wouldn't. But I feel like Madison is maybe the most likely to actually marry him.
That's true.
But
I'm afraid
that's what you want.
I'm afraid if he picks Madison, they'll be married in a year. She wants to get laid. He wants to get laid.
Yeah. Right. They have to wait a year.
It's not like, as far as Matt is concerned, married at 24 is right on schedule.
Yeah, it's
in
normal,
fact, she might even be a little behind.
Yeah.
With some of her peers.
I do forget that a lot of the world is like that, where they'll get married much younger. Most of my friends are like 40 and are like, what? How would I do that? So
like I could see them engaged and married before they even know each other.
Yeah.
And that's
scary.
That's scary.
But, they have a way of like making the next episode always look like the best episode. But I really do feel like the next one is going to be the best.
Me too.
There was like crazy shit every 5 seconds, people crying and screaming. I'm really excited to see how it goes with the hometowns. Yeah, I don't know. I guess my final vote would be that Madison will win.
Okay.
What do you think? Hannah Ann all the way.
I've been saying Hannah Ann. I'm going to stick with Hannah Ann, but this episode definitely I've been saying Hannah Ann, but I thought about this and I didn't even realize at the time, but like Hannah Ann has only had one-on-one.
Yeah, they haven't had that much time together.
And I don't remember a time a winner has only had one-on-one before going to a hometown.
Right. Do you feel
But this season has been just weird that way with all the drama. It's like Sydney's one-on-one ended up being kind of a total waste of a date.
Did Garrett have more than one?
I mean,
Garrett kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Do you feel like this season and Hannah's season, they talk about sex and what happened in the fantasy suite, like within the show, like much more, like the other women know that they've had, like, I feel like, why do they know? Like in previous seasons, the Bachelor wouldn't tell if he had sex with the person the night before or something.
I mean, I think every season, starting like obviously the Andy and me and then Caitlin and I, like that was like the first time the show even mentioned sex is going on. And ever since then, there's been like little moments where they start saying, hey, America knows now, we're ready for it.
Yeah. You can handle
and
it.
So you didn't see not much in Ben. They didn't really not in Ben, but certainly obviously we know on Hannah's season, and there's been a lot more in, I think, with Paradise ever since being in there.
That's true. Then it's just like
everyone's not pretending. So when it comes up, they clearly have no problem going with the storyline.
Well, I do feel like if I were one of the final few people, I would want to know what happened, but I guess maybe I wouldn't at the same time. It's like you kind of want to know and you kind of don't. You just want to live in your little bubble for a little bit longer.
My guess is in the past, because like that conversation of like, oh, well, if they have sex with someone else, I don't know. That's happened since the show started, I'm sure of.
Mm-hmm. It's just not covered because
they just didn't bring
scandalous.
it up. But now, I think because we know about sex, they are willing to, well, let's talk about it. And they might share it, especially if it becomes a big part of the storyline. I mean, like with Hannah, you have Luke P just like shaming.
I can't believe he got that far.
And that's literally why he went home.
Yeah.
So
I loved that though when she stood up to him and she's like, "You don't tell me what to do." Put him in the van.
So, and it seems like we're up for like a repeat of this with
something's
Madison. Seemed like if it's like Madison might be his favorite right now, right? Like it seems that's.
I wonder when she tells him she's saving herself, because if it's after he's already had sex with
next
people.
episode, because they show a preview of
hometown,
of her saying
right.
I'm saving myself. It doesn't have to be, but I'm assuming like that's going to be the next step. You know how you were like, hey, why didn't she talk about religion before?
Yeah.
So now I think every time Madison and Pete have a conversation, there's going to be some sort of element about her faith, whether like now her like sexuality, her like her desire to wait or have sex, how she feels about like, because now we're getting into fantasy suites.
Yeah.
So like, let's talk about what's next, so there's going to be, sometimes the Bachelor or Bachelorette tends to get more boring as once hometowns. I don't think that's going to be the case
It does not look like it's going to be.
I think it's going to be jam-packed from here on out.
He's got a lot on his mind. He looks really stressed. He's like crying. He can't take it. I can't wait. It's going to be good.
Have we covered? I think we've covered it all.
Great.
Lauren, I really appreciate you coming.
Thank you for having me.
Can you share with us all the exciting things you're doing out in the world and where people can find you?
Sure. Yes, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Lauren Lapkus. I have a new podcast with Nicole Byer, who you might know as the host of Nailed It on Netflix. I'm familiar with
Nicole. I'm trying to get her on this podcast.
Oh, I'll text her. She's great. And we watched Star Wars for the first time on our podcast, but neither of us have ever seen it, so we're going to watch it for the first time and see if we like it. And it's going well so far, but it's a very intense undertaking.
Can you share with us?
I found elements to enjoy. I've been surprised.
You've never seen?
No. I mean, I've like picked up on like, Luke, I'm your father kind of stuff.
Yeah, the American
that's
culture,
about it.
pop culture elements to it.
Yeah, and then I have a movie coming out in the spring on Netflix called The Wrong Missy with David Spade, and it's like a rom-com, silly.
Are you in love with him?
Yes, I am.
Yes.
Wow. It's really fun. I'm an insane person in the movie, so he's not into me.
You'll have to come back and promote your movie when it comes out.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Well, thanks so much for coming.
Yeah, thank you.
You were great, and always welcome back.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much for listening, guys. Don't forget, tomorrow we have the pilot joining us. I think you're really going to enjoy it. He is fantastic. Shares a bunch of stories he's never shared before. And what else? Send your questions at asknick@castmedia.com, cast with a K, and we will see you tomorrow.